Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Cleveland Browns. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they come in at 15-0, one win short of a perfect regular season.
And it's something we've only seen a couple of times. Miami in 1972, New England in 2007. We know they're not going to mail it in. They're going to go for it.
Now a handoff looking right. Space to maneuver at the 40. The 40. He's at the 30. 10. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great play there. His sixth touchdown of the season. And the Browns have taken the early lead. The very first play from scrimmage, how about that? Talk about setting a tone.
And people always talk about doing exactly that in the first 5 minutes of the game, the first offensive and defensive series. Who's going to gain an advantage? Well, we saw exactly what happened there. The tone was definitely set by the offensive team.
Extra point right down the middle, and that makes the score 7-0. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Commanding the offense will be Lamar Jackson, the electric quarterback out of the University of Louisville.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Slips past him.
Where'd he go?
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A big play there with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the second most in a single year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And we are tied at 7. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns offense trotting back onto the field as the season winds down and you look at them in totality. You know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football because, as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has held them back So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change at quarterback, running back, tight end. It doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Let's go!
Looking to throw on second down. Townsend, a quick hitter, complete. It's Bass. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I won't wait till the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. Yeah. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. And an alley to run. Room to run past midfield. Skirts by him at the 35. And down to the 28-yard line. That one good for 33 and a first.
And it is still early, just the first quarter. But you start prorating the numbers, and we might be in for some history. I mean, that last run puts him over 100 yards already. And we've still got 3 quarters to go.
Acott's right, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there with touchdown number 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. And his kick is good. Carlson now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons. I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. A tough challenge here in this one. We'll see if he can duplicate the numbers on your screen that he put up last week, up over 100 and a touchdown.
We're watching tape to prepare for this game. One thing you noted that I totally agree with, great complimentary piece in the last game. You know, they're able to throw it pretty well. He ran it exceptionally, and they hope to continue that same formula in this game.
Complimentary with an E, not an I.
That's my English teacher right there.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
I know we just saw a nice throw and catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
First red zone chance now for the Vikings. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Throwing is Jackson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely frees up your guys elsewhere. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. In for the score. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 21-7. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's polished off by a Viking score. Carlson now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag. But you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
On first down, Townsend. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Bass. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Browns were able to strike quickly for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And there's no ground game here with the tailback. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penalty.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns with a football to begin quarter number 2, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out.
Green, 39!
From the gun, Townsend. And that is incomplete here. And now following the incomplete pass, we'll get a timeout here for an injured player. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Set! Blue Niner!
And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
And his kick here is good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. Might he be on his way to a record-setting performance here, Charles? Second quarter and the yardage number already ridiculous.
And they always talk about just focusing on the next play. But sometimes it's okay to dream big because
I'm focusing on the fourth quarter already.
Listen, I don't blame you, though, because we could be witnessing some type of history here, and it's being done by him and, of course, the big guys up front who are creating the holes for him to run through.
Yeah, they've all been good so far. So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Got some room at the 30. And a cutback, right sideline. Accelerating, and off he goes. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. Becoming just the second player with 30 touchdowns in a single year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. This is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it? Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for him. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. This one fielded at the 5. A marker down. He does get it up past the 25. Will it hold? Let's see.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
All right, here we go.
And they'll run it here. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said,
pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. And, oh, my, mistake there. Backs up, takes a fair catch at the 3-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just give him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent is really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
Yeah, now they're just looking to add to that total.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Pushing his way through. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. They go play action here on first down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. They'll roll him out right. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A good pickup there at 22. So 2 first downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. More from Cleveland after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. To throw is Jackson. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And with that touchdown reception, we have a new single-season leader. We were waiting for this moment. We got to see it here.
How much fun is it that we were here to see it? And this guy's able to catch touchdown passes from everywhere. Red zone, out in the field. It didn't matter. You put in his vicinity, he carried it over the goal line.
Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And a route is on here in this first half. Carlson now to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
A gain of 3, 2nd down. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. To throw on 2nd down. Townsend. Throwing left side, it's complete. Past the 20. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns make some inroads here on that deficit.
As they began this last drive, things weren't exactly looking up for this offense. But after what they just did, putting the ball in the end zone, that took them away from the brink of possibly being knocked out of this game.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll cut the lead down to 18. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
You know, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them, every move they make works, it clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes?
Rush coming, and he's taken down. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Now it's Jackson. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Definitely worth taking another deep shot here. He's already found the end zone twice here in the first half.
Yeah, go back to that same well. They've had trouble containing him, but able to contain him on that play. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now it's Jackson. To the right side, complete to Taylor. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield, but when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off.
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. In for the score. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Carlson now to add the extra point. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. Carlson now to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. A lot of the problems have been on the other side of the ball. Is that frustrating for a quarterback who's been playing well?
It is, but there's no way that the best ones let their teammates know that. They actually take it upon themselves and say, okay, I have to do even more, or I need to play better. Maybe even say I put my defense in a bad spot. That's what true leadership shows you.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need to change much personally.
Here we go.
Looking to throw on second down. Townsend. And Davis has it over the middle. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing on first down. Townsend finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Here we go.
Back to throw. Townsend got his man complete over the middle. It's Bass. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. And this one is right through. And they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. So they're still down, but they are able to salvage 3 here heading into the lockers.
This is what you worked on from the beginning of training camp. Heading into the half, put some points on the board. No matter what the score says at that point, you've accomplished what you set out to do.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And these guys locked into that #1 seed. That's been a foregone conclusion for a while now. The question on everyone's mind, can they finish the regular season a perfect 16-0?
And it all comes back to philosophy of the organization, philosophy of the head coach, and, of course, the locker room itself. What do the players want to do? And I think what most teams would do in this situation is approach it, let's win every game, but let's be smart about doing it. So it doesn't mean that they're going to go all out if, indeed, they do need to rest a few people.
Down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now a play fake here on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Hurry up, here we go.
They run a draw here on second down. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Well, that one was over before it could get rolling. How about the D just knifing into the backfield and shutting that one down?
Set. Blue 90. Blue 90. Hot.
To throw on third down. Townsend. And Davis with it left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pick up there, 20 yards.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little game.
Here we go now. 319.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
3 yards is the pickup, but it leaves them still needing 11 here on third down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Davis. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. The Browns passing game finding its stride. They've got another first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie,
Let's go.
you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Blue 90.
To throw on second down, Townsend. He's got daylight, the 30. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And following the pick six, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
19.
Looking to throw on second down. Townsend over the middle, complete. It's Higgins. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
3-19. Set. 3-19.
On first and 10, Townsend got his man complete over the middle. It's Bass. That throw good for 4. It's second down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up second and 6.
Here we go now. Green 39.
Operating from the gun, Townsend. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up fourth down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Always got some breathing room. And he's in for the score, and his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
And that rushing touchdown, his fourth, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will swell by one more. Well, I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, But it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Browns offense heading back out to take possession. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness that defensive line is eating them.
And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
That's fielded at the 8-yard line. And not a great return here. He'll make it back only to the 10-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated
through an opening, and there he goes. And he is into the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
Carlson now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. From the gun on 3rd down. Townsend breaks through the contact. Going right side here, and that's complete. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 1st down. Townsend, and he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. To throw on 2nd down. Townsend, he's going to flip one out here to his running back. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and that's going to bring up a third down. From the gun, Townsend. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 14. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
It's a foot race. 30, the 20, 10, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right?
No.
I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Carlson now to add the extra point. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Carlson now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Looking to throw. Townsend. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or...
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
On 3rd and 2, Townsend. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Read it well, and it's picked. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception.
There he goes, left side. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to, because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
Oh, boy. Rubbing a little salt in the wound there, going for 2 up this big.
You know, there's one time when I played, Brandon, and played against a team that was just absolutely pile driving us, and they ended up going for 2 late in the game. And I asked one of the guys, why'd you do that? He said, because we wanted to win by more. That feels like that type of situation.
Wow. Well, it could also result in a melee later, though. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a scapegoat for you and should work better, and try and execute that on the way out the door, and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
We'll see if they go back to base. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Minnesota, they've indeed run the table here on the regular season. They finish a perfect 16-0, joining the 07 Pats and the 72 Dolphins as the only teams to ever do so. And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for the Browns, they wanted desperately to finish at 500, but that won't happen, as it'll be a 7-9 season in the end. And they can take solace in the fact that this team never quit all the way to the end.